Hello, and welcome to another PLCHero troubleshooting tip for saving the day. These troubleshooting tutorials are produced for anyone who needs to know how to save the day by avoiding the pitfalls when troubleshooting PLCs. They are based on a true story, which happens to be mine. What I wish I knew when it was 3 a.m. and there was no one else to call. Hey, I would love to hear about what you think. Be sure to leave your comments. In this session, you will learn how to build your confidence when going online by getting rid of that nagging, funny, sinking feeling, commonly known as fear. Today, I will teach you how to save the day by creating a trail of breadcrumbs when going online with confidence and success. So let's begin. With the Microsoft Logic open, go online to the Acme air compressor. Go to Comms, System Comms. The drivers are on your left. The PLCs are on your right. Click on the Acme air icon and click on Online. When you go online, you will notice several things. First of all, the remote run is highlighted green. The rails on your ladder logic are highlighted green, and the icon with the little ladder logic is animated, indicating that you have communication. When you go online, it's always a good idea to check to see that this is the processor you really want to connect to. Always get in the habit when going online to look for forces enabled. With the MicroLogic family, forces enabled are always present. Be sure to check out the tutorial on forces. To create a trail of breadcrumbs, you must make a duplicate of the working copy of the program. Go up to File, left click, scroll down to Save As, and you will notice that the file name is Acme Air. To create that trail of breadcrumbs, in the file name, add current and the date. Under the revision notes, add your name and date and a detailed description of the problem. Here we have Jim Smith, 11/16/2018. The problem is the operator states that there are 3 air compressors controlled by a sequencer. Each air compressor is to run 8 hours out of a 24-hour day. Problem is, number 1 compressor is running all the time. There are 3 reasons why this practice should become an SOP, a standard operating procedure. Number 1, when troubleshooting, time eludes you. If you are making several changes without writing them down, it can cause confusion when trying to remember the changes. Number 2, when troubleshooting intermittent problems, it may take several days or even weeks to resolve. The need for passing accurate information is vital. And number 3, if there is a system crash, you must be able to restore the original program. With a current copy made and a detailed description of the problem, go ahead and click Save. Yes. Notice that the only change that was made was the name. We now have Acme Air Current 11/16/2018. This is our backup, and it's going to be our working copy of the program. Now that we have a duplicate copy and a detailed description of our problem, you are now ready to begin troubleshooting. When troubleshooting, always begin with the output. Please see the tutorial Outputs, 8 ways to find an output. There are 3 reasons for beginning with the output. Number 1, an output can only be used once in a program. Number 2, outputs have a higher current than inputs and therefore have a greater risk of failing. And number 3, it is far easier to navigate through a program to find out what condition is lacking to make an output true. Let's begin by going to the output data table. Go to your project tree on the left-hand side, scroll down to Data Files and double click on Outputs. In the upper left hand corner, left click on the icon. Scroll down to On Top. By doing this, you will now be able to park your data table any place you desire. Here we have Output, Slot 0, Word 0. Bit 0 is our system enable run. We have a 1 in there, so it's true. In position 1, we have the system stop light. In bit 2, we have a 1 in there indicating that air compressor number 1 is running. In bit 3, we have air compressor 2 with a 0 in there. In bit 3, we have air compressor 2 with a 0. And in bit 4, we have air compressor 3 with a 0. Both 2 and 3 air compressors are not running. And number 1 is always running. After troubleshooting and you are satisfied that the problem has been resolved, you can then go ahead and X out of the data table. Here we have all 3 of them working. Here we see that we have air compressor number 1 working. There's a 1 in there. We see number 2 air compressor running. There's a 1 in there. And then we see that it will sequence to number 3. And there's a 1 in there. So all 3 of them are cycling through the sequencer. If you're satisfied, X out. And go back up to File. Save As. In your revision notes, you will put down your name and the date and what you did to correct the problem. Go up to where the files are stored and click on PLCHero. When you click on it, it will tell you that this file already exists. Do you want to replace this file? And you will say yes. Upload the data tables. Going back to the program, you will see that the name has been changed and restored to the original program name, PLCHero. Go back to File. Save As, PLCHero, and PLCHero Current, 11/16/2018. That's the working copy we created for our trail of breadcrumbs. We no longer need it, so go back up to PLCHero, right-click, and delete. Are you sure you want to delete it? Yes. And here you go back to the original name, PLCHero, and you also have stored the original problem and what you have done with the problem. Go ahead and click on PLCHero one more time. Click Save. And you have now made your necessary changes, and you also have a log of the changes that were made. One final thought. If you are using a double EEPROM or E2PROM or what they call the memory module, you will have to make changes to that memory module as well. If you don't, the memory module will upload the program that was stored in there and overwrite whatever changes you made. Please be sure to check out the tutorial called Memory Module. Well, that's it. I hope you liked this video and found it helpful. Be sure to subscribe for more helpful troubleshooting tips for saving the day. If there's a particular subject you're interested in, please let me know. And be sure to visit PLCHero.com for our virtual hands-on troubleshooting classes using RS Logic Emulator 500.